Most of the images you are about to see are between 400 and 500 years old. Many were drawn by artists who were there, who witnessed and recorded these historical truths.
An ancient Maya prophecy says that the American Indian people will undergo 500 years of suffering. Then the eagle of the north and the condor of the south will finally come together and join their tears. And when they do, the Indian nations will be reborn.
Many Indian elders say that the 500 years are 1492 to 1992, that the cycle is now coming to a close and the Indian nations are about to be reborn.
The Caribbean islands were once the homeland of the Taino Indian people. They were a prosperous, friendly nation, numbering in the millions. Taino means peaceful or good.
They lived in villages of round palm-thatched huts called canays. The men hunted with trained little barkless dogs. Their main weapons were fishbone-tipped spears, and they used pet parrots to decoy wild ones, then noose their feet. They fished the sea in dugout canoes, some large enough to carry 80 or more. The Tainos were great swimmers. Their bread was cassava, baked on a stone griddle. They kept a pepper pot soup simmering at all times. They shaped clay coils into pots, wove baskets from biheo leaves. They mixed earth and ashes into mounds where they grew cassava. On hillsides, they planted corn, 5 kernels in each hole a pace apart. They grew yams, beans, pepper, coconut, papayas, pineapple.
They bathed daily using deagle root as soap. They slept in net hammocks. To lock a house, they placed a stick across the entrance, and no Taino would think to pass. They wore ornaments of gold, shell, and bone, and almost no clothes. At the hub of each village was a plaza, a ceremonial center with a temple, a court where they played a ceremonial ball game, and the bojillo, home of the cacique or chief and his or her extended family. The cacique could be either man or woman, such as the powerful and wise Ganabo and Anacaona. The cacique's job was the village welfare, assigning the daily work routine and making sure everyone got a fair share. Their only rivals were the Caribes, who lived on faraway islands and raided occasionally in search of women.
Then one day, 3 huge ships appeared offshore with strange people on board. Many said this was Guamikina, the culture giver, returned. Ages ago, Guamikina had come down from the sky in a great ship and taught the people the Taino way of life. When he was through, he returned to the sky, but said he would come back someday.
So, many thought these new strangers were Guamikina and his people and went to greet them with precious gifts. But at the very first island the ships touched, called Guanahani, the strangers kidnapped 6 Tainos and took them away. The ships continued on to other larger islands, but off the shore of Haiti, one of their ships hit a reef, fell on its side, and split apart. The Tainos rescued the strangers. The year was 1492. The ship was the Santa Maria, and Guamikina was Christopher Columbus. Columbus was lost and thought he was near India. So he called the Tainos Indians. He was looking for China and carried a letter from the King and Queen of Spain to the Emperor Kublai Khan. He traded the Tainos little bells and mirrors for their gold ornaments. The Tainos treated the strangers like honored guests. They built Columbus a village and fed his entire crew for weeks. And finally, Columbus sailed back to Spain, leaving 39 men behind.
10 months later, he returned at the head of an armada of 17 ships, 1,500 soldiers, horses, and cannon. He returned with his army because Columbus was just not an explorer. He came in search of gold and power, not just to discover the Indies, but to conquer them. Columbus was the first military leader of the European invasion of the Western Hemisphere. He had cut the deal with the King and Queen of Spain that he would become governor of all lands he could conquer, and they would share all the gold, silver, pearls, gems, and spices he could grab.